conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry, leave me a message.
I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body.
Welcome to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury Rises, and I'll be your host today. And I'm going to have a guest that's going to be on the show today. His name is Ricky Thomas. And Ricky should be calling in shortly. And today he's going to talk about his perception of the novel because he read it in its entirety. And then after Ricky and I are finished discussing what he got from the book, then we'll be talking about probably intimacy without sex. So, number 3, okay, got it. So we'll be talking about intimacy without sex. So intimacy without sex is basically, I guess, foreplay. Yeah, a lot of foreplay. So, and I would welcome anyone that calls in and have any questions or want to share some of their expertise, and I'll give you a response back as best as I can. So a little bit about Men in My Bed. Men in My Bed has stories related to intimacy, sex, a little tragedy, not tragedy based on, well, I guess it is. So it goes from early childhood, and it talks about some trauma. The trauma is sexually related. Then it moves on into the adulthood, where there's relationship and those experiences from those relationships that carried on to the later adulthood. Some were good, some were not. A lot of them had hard lessons that were learned along the way. So it's basically almost a tell-all story, because it covers over 30 years. And the main, I guess, what I would want you to take away from the book is basically that you need to be attentive. Be right back with you. That must be Ricky. Hello? Hi.
Hey, good evening. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
So on the phone.
Winding down.
Good. So I'm going to introduce you. On the phone we have Ricky Thomas. Actually, Ricky Thomas grew up in the area that is the setting for the book. So he's going to give us his perception of the book and maybe some of his memories of the neighborhood. So Ricky?
Yes, ma'am.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So tell me what you thought about the book after you read it.
I must say, it's coming from you because I know you, and knowing these are your experiences, it was kind of, eerie, reading it because I know you so good,
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, the book just took me back, especially the introduction about the South and how the people are and how they were. When you wrote about what you wrote, it reminded me a lot of some of the things I might have went through, and definitely a lot of the things my mom and my grandmother them told me things they went through.
Mm-hmm.
So from that side of town, Coosahatchee, we say South Stack, Coosahat, That's where I was raised up in. That's where a lot of crazy things happen. Especially when you you took me back when you spoke about Muncie Pogate, right down the street from you guys' house.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cemetery that when I first came from New York, I never was afraid of ghosts or anything until my granddad told me about some of the things that would happen down at Muncie Pogate,
Wow.
And that was really, really a scary place to walk by.
So, from the neighborhood, can you recall any of the things that was spoken of in an introduction that you may have witnessed?
Um, I, re- I the guy you spoke about, um, Mr. Dewey. I remember him real good. You know, um, he used to live across from my grandmother's house. When I say across, it's not like across the street, but it wasn't even across the field. It was like how y'all was here. His house was right there. He lived in a board house, didn't have no windows. It had shutters though. It had shutters and tin rooftop, no bathroom, running water on the outside. And he had this donkey. You know, he had this donkey that used to eat everything off the line. You know, he was an older guy. The things that he did, because I was a little kid, I never knew of that. You know, all I know is that, you know, when he passed, we went in his house and he just had a lot of oatmeal in it. He had a lot of oatmeal. I don't know why, but he had a lot of oatmeal in there, you know, and it was that oatmeal, that instant oatmeal from back in the day. You just add water in it and had big lumps of brown sugar in it.
Right.
You know. And so, you know, but as far as me witnessing or whatever, you know, things happen in the country where being black down in that part of town, it was like you're in a different world. You didn't matter to outside society. You know, things happen in that neighborhood. It was easily dismissed to the point where people never even took it to the law. You know, my mom told me a time where her mother sent her to stay with some friends because back then they used to go up north to work because it wasn't no jobs down in the country, especially when I say country, I mean South Carolina, the low country, especially when winter comes and stuff like that. It was no cucumbers or whatever, tomatoes or watermelon to pick out in the field. They would go up north, and she left my mom to stay, and she didn't even know from what she said, but even the family members that was there, she was repeatedly raped by a family member, you know, and situation like that, you know, you go to the grown folks, it seems like they believe the older people before they believe the kids, you know. And that's how that was a culture. That's how it was back there and back in the days. Sorry to say.
Wow.
But that's how Coosahatchee was, you know. No lights, couple of stores. It wasn't the greatest place. It wasn't the greatest place in the world. But what made it memorable are the family members. When I was little, we didn't really know we was poor, you know, but we had our family members that made everything seem like an adventure, you know. We never was hungry, you know. In the country, you seemed like you never knew what hungry was, you know, because down there we ate coon. People call it raccoon, you know. That was tasty. We eat squirrels or we eat birds, you know. They used to hide put sweet potatoes in banks under dirt so they could, I guess, ripe or whatever, get better. And they would just throw those in the fire at night over a big fire, and then they just cook in the fire, and we take it out and eat it. That was exciting.
Yeah, it was. I
that
remember.
Part of the country.
I remember doing that.
Yeah, that was it. You know, learned a lot of things. You know, I learned how to demusk coon. You know, how to clean coon. You know, how to you know, gut the hog. You know, we even had to clean chitlins in the front yard. You know, it was the worst thing in the world. I hated that. You know, clean chitlins, and we would clean chitlins, and all of us would get a block or something to sit on and dig a hole in the front yard and get us a bowl with some water in it and clean chitlins. And then what made it worse, after we do it that day, that's what we would have for dinner. It was horrible, you know, but that's the way it was in the country, you know. deer, not no roadkill or anything like that, but anything you could find, you know, they ate down there. You know, those were the days. You know, thank heaven for being able to go up north and see what life was about. You know, down there all the time.
So it seemed like the introduction brought back a lot of memories for you.
Oh, when you know, when before I even got through the introduction, you know, I found myself calling my mom and my sister just to verify certain places, you know, because I'm just like, because I think he used a fictional name for some of the places, but, you know, just had, Mom, wasn't this so-and-so? And she said, yeah. I'm like, my mama, what about, you know, Mr. Dewey, you know, and told my sister about him and everything, you know, and everybody just trip about it, Mr. Dewey and Deep Cross the Field and all of these people, you know. It was a man that lived across from you guys. A lot of people didn't even know it. He was a relative of mine, but he was Reverend Ike's brother.
Wow.
You know, and while Reverend Ike was out there making money and preaching and doing all this thing, this guy lived across the field in a board house, just like Mr. Dewey did, a board house with nothing, no running water, you know, windows was like shutters, board shutters, and he had the cleanest garden. He had to have the cleanest garden. His garden looked like beach sand.
Wow.
And he grew the best sugar cane, everything. He had plum trees that you go to some people's plum trees and they would have, you know, rotten worms in the plums. His plum had no worm in them. You know, he made that cane, that sugar cane that we used to eat with fried bread.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. fried bread and that sugar cane syrup, man.
Yep.
You couldn't beat that in the country town. Couldn't beat that. You know, those were the days. That book just brought me back. It really brought me back.
Okay.
You know.
Well, so when you got past the introduction, what character stands out for you the most?
I like the first, you know, part you talked about, you know, even though it was kind of deep, but, you know, your friend you talked about where you found out that he was kind of messing around. I think he had a wife and he was messing with you, and then the character, he was messing with the character, and then your friend started messing with the character, you know, but he was good in the way he made you feel and the way the lovemaking was and everything, you know. When you read something like that, you know, it just makes you think. When I leave somebody, I want to leave them with that feeling, you know. When you can make love to a person and come back years later and they want you just as bad as if it was yesterday.
Oh.
You know, that's kind of awesome. Now, everything else about him, now, I'm not going to justify everything else about him, you know, because he did have a significant other, anything, you know, and it's kind of slimy for him to, you know, go behind your back and do that with your girl and whatnot. But, you know, just the fact of, you know, the art of lovemaking and make you feel that way. And, you know, I'm pretty sure they didn't have the little blue pills back then, so he made it sound like this kid could go forever and ever and ever. When the average man, you'd be like, I can give you the best 45 seconds of my life, you know. So that's just, you know, that's just real talk. You know, you hear brothers be talking about, man, I got this girl, man, and I rocked her for like about 2-3 hours straight. You know, everybody know, man, you know, you lying. Get out of here with that.
Okay, we're gonna go to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world is...
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
Welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. On the phone, we have Ricky Thomas, and Ricky Thomas is giving me a perspective of his viewpoints from my book, Men in My Bed. So, Ricky, can you continue, please?
Yeah, I was just saying how, I really, for me now, this is just for me. Everybody else, they probably get into real good, but I know you, so to know your sex life. Now I kind of look at you like a big, we good like this. We go way back from New York and everything, but I kind of got fixated on that one part of the story.
Okay.
And just thinking about how life is and how it some people can take it for entertainment and look at it, but sometimes it's a lot of hidden gems within it. It's a lot of hidden gems within the story you tell.
Right.
Definitely. I remember when we were younger. You used to go out and people outside your family. You look at your friends and be like, "Yo, this is my sister," and or "This is my brother. We like brothers," and she'll never do that to me, and whatnot. But when it comes to that sexual feeling and money, man, it's just no telling.
Right.
It's just no telling. She know that regardless of the situation, I was always taught that, this is my boy. I don't even care if he got with the girl before. It's still kind of like off limits to me because that's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But to do something like that to your girl, and the guy, now me personally, I don't see. That was some serious forgiving.
It was.
It was. That was some serious putting behind forgiving. I don't know, in the back of your mind, you like, let me show this Negro, what he gave up, because he sounded like he was giving him a little bit of hell too, So all of that's not cool. It's kind of like not cool. People treat you any kind of way just for sex or money. But you have to say though, it was kind of exciting. I had to almost forgot I was reading about you.
So, huh? Can you repeat that?
I said, I just forgot about you. I said, matter of fact, that left a person feeling like that Sprite feeling,
Mm-hmm.
Ready to quench the thirst, but it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
So, are you married?
Yes, ma'am.
So, have you, before you got married, did you have any experiences even close to what's in the book?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not like that. But
What
I
you
had
mean not like that?
It was reversed. It was kind of reversed.
Okay.
I never really tell anybody about this, but nobody had to see my face anyway. But I had this young lady I used to date. We used to get down. We kicked it together for a while, and at some point, before I got with her, she was dating this kid that went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she was still in love with him, and we got together. She told me about him, that he was going to be getting out in 6 months, and I was like, okay, cool. So I'm about to go on my way and kind of find out he wasn't getting out right away. He gave her that jailhouse story, So he would come by, and we would get down, and it seemed like it was extra tense and satisfying in a way, but then at the end, it turned out to it was just sex because it held no emotion, at least for me, because I know what she was about. Situations come up, and he was out, she was going to run back to him.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was like we see each other come over. It was like hot and heavy, crazy. It was almost like for a while in the moment I would do anything for you, but then when it was over, I just did not have no attachment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the closest I could say, but I didn't do her no kind of way. She went back to a guy that got out of prison, So
Wow.
that's the closest I could come to that.
Hmm.
Can't get into the details like that.
Okay. So, who would you say is your, I know we said who stood out the most, but who you think was the best character in the book? Because the one that stood out the most don't actually have to be the best one.
I think, and not just because I know you, but I think you was the best character.
Who?
You.
Oh, really? Sasha?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have experiences, whether it's good or bad, and don't know how to express them and still come out on top. It seems like you went through, and some of the things you went through, it really saddened me.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things you went through, even as young, with the guys on the bus, because
Right.
the thing about that, I would have never known this happened with you, and these were guys that I knew growing up that you look up to when they playing ball and they doing other things, and you just think they the bomb, but then come to find out they just as slimy as whatever. But you're here. You're an author. You've been doing. I was looking at a picture of you the other day. I think it was 1989 when you graduated in your uniform.
Uh-huh.
And you did your thing. You did your thing regardless of everything that happened. And I met some of your kids and everything is like really Gucci. When I say Gucci, everything is really good. So you did good. You overcame a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure with all of that, a person can go to you and get valuable experience. Not to necessarily go by, but you could use it as a template. From some of the things you went through, how you handled something. So you come out with everything that you've been through, and on top of that, and I'm not just saying this because I know you.
Mm-hmm.
You still a damn good.
I thank you.
You still be killing. So I always loved and respect you and everything, but just reading about that, it really gave me a newfound respect, everything for you and everything you did and how you went about it.
Right.
That you still did it, because trust me, I know people in Coosawhatchee, Pokie Tally Go, Tulipeni Hill, Gilsonville, that didn't rise. They didn't stand up when the bell rung, for the next round.
Wow.
I know that for sure.
Okay. So how
He was the
did
best.
I knew so from reading the introduction, I know you probably recognize some of the neighborhood young men at that time. So did you have any idea that they were doing things like that?
Not them.
Not them?
Not them. I know Pumpkin. I know Pumpkin was, I know Pumpkin. The one character, he wasn't about nothing, but those guys, when you're on the court, you never, and you're younger than them, they don't get into personal things, you hear about, And I'm not going to lie, you used to hear about people, running a train on somebody or whatever the case, however they would call it. You would hear about it. And the sad thing about it, it would clash with today's time. Definitely clash with today's time because that was something they used to brag about. And they would with no consideration to the female, they just be like, yeah, she loves every bit of it. Yeah, she, you down, but just never knew. Now I know around there some old people that was, we talked about this, like deep across the field that was just nasty, and he was older than do stuff to try to, of course, the young girls my age, and we were kids.
Right.
We were kids, and he was like a grown old man, at night sneaking out trying to entice them and showing them his private parts and stuff like that, and they coming back talking about it, So, people around there was shifty. It wasn't, like I said, it was almost flawless, you almost, the worst you hear about somebody do something back then is they find out somebody did something to you, then one of the older people probably going, they're going to go put root on the person.
Wow.
Stuff like that, put root on them or,
Okay.
stuff like that. But the guys around there that were that age, that played ball, played football and stuff like that, they were like our country neighborhood superstars. Simple about that. It made me look back on it. It made me, when I talked to my mom and talked to my sister, and she knew of some crazy things that went on because my sister is about a year younger than me.
Right.
And she had some things that went her way as happened her, came towards her as well, so it wasn't like I was in non-belief, it wasn't like I didn't believe it,
No, I was on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and my high school has a group for all the students that graduated the year that I graduated, and I saw that guy that did that horrible act was friends with one of them, and the lady made a comment. She said, I'm just going to throw a name out. She said, well, Bob, I haven't seen you in a long time. I really miss having you around because you were always around whenever I need you to fix things. So then I looked at her page, and she had like 7 daughters. So I'm like, that's not why Bob is around to fix things. Bob is around because you have 7 daughters. And I thought very, very hard about sending her an inbox message. Or do you know what Bob's background is? Do you know how Bob feel about young girls or just little girls? But I didn't do that. But it was my thought to do that. People just need to be careful.
You didn't know this girl, did you?
No, I didn't know her. Nope. Well, we're about to go to another commercial break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Michael Kyle, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party! All right, see y'all later.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry, leave me a message.
I
Bye.
just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you
welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury's Rising, and my guest today is Mr. Ricky Thomas. And I want to thank him for coming on the show and sharing his memories of the neighborhood and giving me his perception of the book. And hopefully he'll come back again. So and the name of the book is Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Relationship Chronicles. Ricky?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so very much for being on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me, and for all the listeners out there, you know, if you want to get an understanding of certain things that just pass you by, check out the book. Definitely deep, from the introduction to some of the hot, steamy stories on the inside.
Okay.
Just, you know, steamy, you know, so. But thanks for having me, though.
Well, thank you.
All right.
All right.
God bless, man.
Thank you, too. Okay, I noticed that there was another call coming in. Please call back, and we'll see what you have to talk about. And on this part, we'll be just probably talking about the intimacy without actually having sexual intercourse. So you will find some of that in at least one chapter in my book, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find. And it basically was a relationship that took place in sometime, but it was for maybe a period of 6 or 7 months that there wasn't no intercourse, but it was a very intimate relationship. So if you have some questions, you have some comments, please call in. Let's have a little conversation about intimacy. Oh, here we go. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
And who do I have the special pleasure of speaking with?
Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, hi, Tacoma. So, Tacoma, this right now, I would like to talk about relationships and relationships that are very intimate, but the two parties are not engaging in actual sexual intercourse. So can you give me your take on a relationship with just foreplay?
Absolutely. You know, I remember I was dating this girl, and she had a plan. I think it said something like 101 ways to make love, and I know I used to take time to read them, you know, read that plaque. You know, just holding hands, look into each other's eyes, you know, share a meal or share, you know, some ice cream and things like that. And I said, you know, I said that makes sense because, you know, men and women are both creatures, and we're not machines to just jump at it, you know, just get right at it. You know, men may be like that, like machines, and just get right at it. But then there, you know, but we have a brain, and the brain is connected to all organs, sex organs, and a woman is even more so that they have to be in that frame of mind. They just can't be like a man, just, you know, just pull over on the side of a road and get at it. And, you know, but you have to, and for both parties, you really, the brain is an organ. You have to get into that. It just helps. Otherwise, it's going to hinder performance. Just like anything. Just, you know, if you want to prepare for a test, you have to study. You have to be in that frame of mind. You have to say, okay, I'm going to ace this test. I'm going to ace this workout. You know, I'm going in there. I'm going to, you know, walk 10 miles. I'm going to complete this marathon.
Now, I was just talking to Ricky Thomas, and he grew up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and basically wrote about it in the introduction. So I don't know if Ricky was aware of, but he said that making love is more of like art and it's more like being an artist for most people most of the part. But what do you think about that? Because what kind of canvas did you think, are you thinking, is it something that I'm going to take my time, like you take your time with the paintbrush and you make these even strokes or strokes going to the left, stroke going to the right, but it's all just like painting, you painting your own mural on this canvas?
I agree. It's because love making is an art, and I'm basically in my past experiences, what I do is I'm a listener and I'm an observer, and you have to be, for the man, you have to be, because you have to be like a quarterback, and you may have that play, you're going forth with this play, and then you see your you may see your receivers, but if they're covered tightly, then you have to in a moment's notice just switch up with something else, like a plan B. So the reason I say that is this. A man may say, okay, love making is an art, and I agree with that. But then the woman that, for me, I get my best pleasure in making sure that the woman is satisfied. Then my satisfaction comes from that, making sure she's satisfied. But what happens, if a woman just says, I just need it, just pound it out. The romance right now, that's great, but like right now, I had a hard day, traffic was bad, it was raining, some guy cut me off, I just want to, I had a glass of wine, just pound it out. And you have to be like, oh, I was in the mood for, romancing you, and here you are, you say pound it out. And you have to be like, okay, change it up, let me pound it out. So you have to be versatile, you have to be, flexible at any given moment, to say, I have to follow what she wants. If she wants me to hit it and not be romantic, then that's what I have to do. And of course, on the flip side of that, the man may be like, well, I was just, the game is getting ready to start in 45 minutes. How about, a quickie? And she's like, no, I really wanted some intimacy. And then you're like, oh, well, okay, all right. I can always record the game. I'm a guy like, love first. Anything else is secondary. You can record a game. You could, take the steak out the oven and cook it up later. But always, first and foremost, make sure that your better half is taken care of first.
So what acts are you think that a couple could engage in that will be intimate without actually having sexual intercourse?
Absolutely, I'm always down for that.
I was asking you what acts. What can each person do?
What can each person do?
Yeah, you have
individually or as a couple? Two people as a couple or individually?
As a couple together doing the act without having actual sexual intercourse. What are some of the things that a man or a woman can do to be pleased, pleasured?
Just well, I'll say I've seen it on social media. I've seen some posts on social media where it's a picture of a couple, and they're naked, and the guy's like, I think he was reading a book, and the woman is she's naked and her head is in his lap, and she's watching the TV. She's watching. I think the caption under it is, "This could be us, but you're afraid," something like that, So that's intimacy without, physical act, just naked and just enjoying each other, just being free, not worrying about, I got a little fupa, what have you, and we're just enjoying each other, whatever it is. We're in the kitchen cooking, naked, or with clothes on, but it's just whatever grooves that couple. Just watching television together. I remember I was when I was married, and I was at my wife at that time and I were at a tire shop purchasing some tires, and we were waiting for the service to get completed, and there was a TV in the waiting room, and we were both watching it, and she just out of nowhere she just leaned her head on my shoulder, and I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet," and that made me feel warm, and that was years ago, and I still remember that simple act of that. To me, that was intimacy.
Okay. So let's say it's a couple in the bedroom and they can do anything, but she can't use her private part and he can't use his for the next 2 hours, but they are gonna make some mad, passionate love. Give me 3 things that those two couples can do.
Definitely kiss. Definitely just the sensuousness of just every part of your body is like on fire, and when you're at that heightened state, just the mere touch of your lover's fingertips will just it goes beyond. So definitely kissing, definitely looking to each other's eyes. It's just for me, like I said before, and it's more than all that. Because there are some people that will say feel oral sex is not sex. For those that feel it is not, then you can engage in some oral sex. Some foreplay with a little. Well, I'll just leave it at the oral sex, or just maybe penetration, or just rubbing the area. Just you can massage an area with your fingertips. You can massage an area. You can massage around the area. It doesn't have to penetrate. That like I said, the sensuous kissing. Some people don't like kissing, and then you have those that. I know a woman. She said she can have an orgasm from just kissing. And wow, that's beautiful.
So you said touching or rubbing the area, and I'm asking for a friend because my friend, she's just so shy. She have all these unanswered sexual questions that she want me to get out for her. So she wants to know, does size matter? So I gave her my answer. I told her no, size doesn't matter. But then another young lady that was in the group with us, she said, I said size doesn't matter because you can just use a finger. So then another young lady that was in the group with me, I added some more onto that. I said, you can just use a finger. And sometimes if you use the finger, you don't need the penis at all. So this young girl, she was in her 30s, and she said, oh, no, wait a minute, don't tell that lie. So I was like, what you mean? She said the hand may not be coordinated. like maybe you have Parkinson and you can't keep your hand still, you got the shakes or something. And I said, you know what, I never even thought of it like that, because she said if you're going to use your finger, then the female is going to want you to be able to keep it on the spot. And if your hands are not coordinated, you're not going to be keeping it on the spot. You're just going to be all around the place. So I said, that's an interesting point. So I'm going to ask, that's why I said I would ask the caller, the male caller, does he think that matters? But can you answer that question for me when we come back from this commercial? We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury Ride. Hear it now? Welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. My name is Mercury Rises, and I'm your host. On the phone, we have Tacoma Washington. Tacoma Washington is the author of Chasing Waterfalls, and Tacoma and I are discussing intimacy without sexual intercourse. So before we went to commercial, we were talking about being passionate in the bedroom without any sexual contact in the private area. So, but now we're gonna touch on size. Does size really matter? Because that's what my friend wanted me to ask. So Tacoma, can you explain to me if you think that size actually matters? Tacoma.
Personally, I think that falls on the woman, because not everything is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Some women could say, "Oh, he's too big," where another woman could say, "Hey, give me more,"
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. So, and I always wondered, when I was like a preteen, when I first heard that, size doesn't matter, I was always wondering, was that something that a man said first or a woman? Or did a woman say that first, to appease a man, like if his ego was, bruised a little bit. I think it was a woman that initially said that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thankful I don't have that problem. But I think from a male's perspective that I guess I'm in the I'm on the fence on both ways because you know what? Now that size doesn't matter because if you have a shortcoming in one area, you have to overcompensate in another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're a little smaller, you know, not as endowed, then you have to, you know, get your tongue game up, and you know. So yeah, basically, yeah, size does matter, you know. And then now it gives me the, you know, this now I say that a woman had to have said that first to a man whose ego was bruised.
So, I'll give my perspective. I don't think size actually matters, but if it was 20 years ago, I would think that size matter. But over the years, I've come to realize that size does not matter. Because a woman can be with a man that's, I'll say, a magnum size, and then I say magnum and standard. So, magnum and standard, and then I'll put the finger in there. You can get just as much pleasure from a finger as you can from a magnum size.
That's debatable. That's, you know, because, you know, everything is not for everybody. A woman could say, you know, I've had enough of that. You know, bring it on.
Okay.
You know, some people like jam on their toast with butter, and some people like jelly. You know, but so yeah, size does matter. You know, it's just a matter of personal opinion.
So,
but
so your personal opinion is that for a man, size does matter. My personal opinion, from a woman perspective, size doesn't matter unless you're a younger woman. I think younger women are more into the size thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a valid point. That's a very valid point because I was wondering when you said 20 years ago. I was like, well, you know, please educate me. What does 20 years have to do with it?
Yeah, because I think 20 years has to do with it. Well, you are more focused on the penis size, the vagina size because I've heard on the vagina side that, well, she's too loose or she's too tight or whatever, just like you hear on the men's side, he's too small or he's too large. So when you done experience over those things over a period of years, then you know when you're on an intimate level with your partner and just foreplay can be enough, and the penis doesn't even have to, or the vagina don't even have to come into play, that a finger can take you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's why I say
that
after years of experience, size doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a valid point to you know, my counterpoint is again personal preference and like I said before, being, you know, my personal experiences and, you know, and being a writer and then also, you know, watching porn, I say, you know, like men who, you know, are even overly endowed, and like I said before, I don't, you know, when I watch porn, I don't say like, ooh, that's real life, you know, but these are, you know, real people. Right. But I've never seen I've seen, you know, a woman or an actor say, you know, she'll deal with it, you know, and like she's climbing the walls. But but I know it's, you know, because of the industry, I've never seen a small man in the films. And now that I think about it, you know, watching, you know, porn. I remember the first time, you know, watching porn on 8mm films. You know, me and a couple of guys, and we would cut school, and you know, some of my age, 70, 77, something like that. Right. And I don't think they would ever cast a man in porn that was small. But you know, everyone's going to be average and more than. But and again, you know, when I'm watching, you know, based on what I'm watching, you know, women, you know, the bigger, the better. You know, and again, like I said, I know that's not reality. It's just, you know, for entertainment purposes only, for personal experience. I can only speak from my point of view to say, I'm good there. Like I can't speak on something that's like I'm 6'5". I can't speak on on a man that's 5'7". To say what's the world like viewing through his eyes. It would be unfair to say. It would be unfair.
Okay.
But I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you, if I may, I'll tell you one other thing that the intimacy without sex. Men, I know it's a $1 billion industry, if not close to $1 trillion. The sex, the strip bars. A woman could put on something nice, fancy, or nothing, just some heels, and you can play some music, and you can have a strip bar, right in your own house. Husbands, boyfriends, get your singles out, bless your wife, bless your girlfriend. I've done that. That's always fun. That's always fun. You can make your own drinks. You can pour as much as you want. Have it, have your own strip bar right in the privacy of your bedroom.
Wow. So, anything else you can add on the level of the finger and not the penis?
Just, I know that with the finger you gotta because like any body part, it can get tired. And like if you're right in that area, and if you're hitting it right, the finger gets a little numb. That muscle, and right at the forearm, on the opposite side of the forearm, you gotta work. How do you work that out outside of the bedroom? I don't know how. But that those fingers to that muscle that go up towards the elbow, man. I hate to be in that position when she's close, but you're like, this is killing me. My arm tired, but you gotta push through. You gotta push through.
So what about, or what can you tell us about two couples that masturbate together? You think that would be interested in the bedroom?
That's absolutely interesting. Yes, I've been there. I love that because I love that, and it shows that the man is comfortable, and the woman is comfortable, because we're human, for those that are in their, late teens, early 20s or 30s, whose bodies like Adonis's, that's all good. And you're like, I got it like this, muscles are rippling, and the woman is, flat stomach. But, as you get up in age, and for any young viewers, you will get in your 40s and 50s, and life will do what it does. If you could do that and masturbate, watching each other, I think that's a beautiful thing because that's showing that I'm comfortable with your eyes on me. And I'm all with that. I've done it before, love it. And cut the lights on. I want to see your eyes as we watch each other. Lights on.
Oh. So, that probably can be last about 30, 45 minutes. What you think?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Because the time limit I put on it was like 2 hours of intimacy in the bedroom without using the vagina or the penis, so on each other. So masturbation is one of the things that can take a little while. What about bringing some toys in along with that masturbation? What do you think?
Toys are fine. Toys are fine. Just don't explore. Personally, don't be like Jacques Cousteau, Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus. Don't go trying to explore on areas of me that are just for you feel what I'm saying? All right. Listen, we can have a safe word. Like, okay, now you can come up from down there, come over here on this side. So the toys are fine.
Okay. So did you cover any of these subjects in your book or your sequel?
As a matter of fact, Chasing Waterfalls, an erotic novel, no. But my sequel, yes, it's going to be covered in my sequel.
Okay. Wow. All right. So I noticed that there were some other people that was calling in. So if you can post your question on Facebook and under Bedroom Chronicles, and I will respond back to you. If it's a question for me, if it's a question for Tacoma, Washington, I'll make sure that he responds back. If it's a question for both of us, then both of us will respond back. Tacoma, anything else you would like to add?
No, other than just everyone out there, copy a copy of Federal Chronicles and Chasing Waterfalls, and have fun with each other. Have fun. Life is short. Stay in love, be safe, and enjoy every moment of it.
Oh, let me ask you this question. So, in the light of COVID, how I think is even probably much better to be practicing a limited amount of sexual activity if you're not married. If you're just in the dating scene. What do you think?
That's a good question. I saw in the news about a month ago, some doctor said about safe sex, and it was, to my opinion, it was ridiculous because she said, how can you have perform the art of lovemaking and not be close to a person? We're going to wear masks while you're in bed, not kiss. Not kissing, like I know there's some people that's their thing, maybe a little peck here and there. That, to me, that's part of lovemaking. So, and it's stupid because if you wear a mask but you don't kiss, but you're still, in other mucous membranes, and it just, I don't even know why they even had that on television. Okay. So it's either you're going to do it or not do it. Okay. If you're, see, you could be married, right? And your wife or your husband works, is a, first responder.
Tacoma.
At the hospital every day.
Tacoma.
What do?
Tacoma. I hate to interrupt, but that's our time. So maybe you can come back and finish that question next week, Thursday. So thanks for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next week, Thursday at 6 p.m.
Not a problem. I appreciate you, Mercury, for having me. It's my pleasure, my honor.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry. Leave me a message.
I just want to love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I want to do to your body, driving me crazy. I just want to love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I want to do to your body.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry. Leave me a message.
I just want to love you.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.